of the Wealth Vibe, and I create videos to help you eliminate debt, grow your income, and build wealth. And I have been MIA for about a week or so, and a lot of things have happened. So I wanted to do this video to fill you in and kind of go through my budget a little bit. So I hope the internet connection is working well because, as you can see here, I'm not in my apartment. I recently moved to Columbus, Georgia to live temporarily with my boyfriend. And yeah, so I've been here since August 6th. I moved in on August 6th, and then we took a trip for about 5 days, and now I'm still here. And hopefully, I heard some good news today, so hopefully by October, I don't know. Hopefully by October, I'll be moved out. I mean, it's been a good experience so far living with him, but hopefully I can get back to normal as I know it. Let me check the comments over here. I got 2 thumbs down. Okay, so I got some comments. Hey, y'all. Hey, Alicia. And hey, I'm assuming it's Ben, 2015 Ben. Hey, thank you for joining me. So let me get straight into what recently happened with my budget. So the first thing was me and my boyfriend. Actually, I was about to start with the wrong thing. There's been so many like negative things that have happened, but it's okay. So the first thing that happened was that me and my boyfriend went to Mexico to celebrate his 30th birthday. And we had already planned this trip like months ago. I don't even remember how many months ago, but we planned this trip months and months ago. And we were able to still go on it because we had everything paid in terms of like the flights and the hotels and everything. And so we went to Mexico and we were having a good time in the airport. So we were able to get upgraded thanks to my boyfriend. I do not have the skill set. He is very charismatic when it comes to trying to get his way to get things that he wants. And he's very tall. He's like 6'4", maybe 6'3". I think he's on the live. So let's see what he says. But he's a little tall, and so we had just regular basic seats because budget. And so he wanted to be at least moved up to an exit row or be moved up to a nicer section of the airplane. And fortunately, he was able to get us some Comfort Plus seats on Delta. So that's not first class, but it's like the next thing close to comfort to first class. So we were like, okay, great. And we were in the airport lounge and everything, and it was just a good time. We flew to Mexico, and we were getting transportation to our hotel, and we got our transportation. They actually have Super Shuttle out in Cancun, Mexico. And so we got into the Super Shuttle line waiting for our ride to come, and I had my phone out and I was checking Instagram because while we were on the plane, my phone, like a text message came through from T-Mobile and said that I had a plan that will allow me to talk and text for free in Mexico. And so I tried to like do something on it, but it wasn't working. And so when we got back in the line outside the airport, I was looking on my phone to see, okay, can I get on Instagram? Can I go live or, put a story out or do whatever I wanted to? Even let my mom know that, hey, we landed, and it wasn't working. And so I distinctly remember taking my phone and putting it in my handbag. And then a few, maybe even seconds later, we were asked to walk down because our shuttle had arrived. And so we were asked to walk down and get into the shuttle. And so we got on the shuttle, and we met this other couple on the shuttle, and we were talking with them and whatnot. And then my boyfriend was like, oh, we should get their information so that if we ever wanted to hang out, we can hang out with them. And so I asked them for their Instagram and other contact information. And I was like, oh, put it in my boyfriend's phone, like follow him on Instagram on my boyfriend's phone, because I knew that he had Signal. And remember, I just had tried out the whole internet connection and it wasn't working. So I didn't even attempt to look at my phone to see if I could, have them follow us on Instagram or whatever. So I passed his phone to them. And so they followed us on Instagram and everything. We finally made it to our hotel. I hop out and I'm filming. So watch out. I'm hopefully going to have the video edited for you all of our trips in Mexico. But I'm like filming. They hand us the little hand towels and everything. We finally get up to the check-in desk, and my boyfriend once again is trying to see if we can get upgraded for free. So he's like, "Yeah, can you check out the other rooms and whatnot?" And so the guy, so I guess a little backstory on that: the hotel that we were originally supposed to be staying in actually closed down, and so they actually paid for us to stay in a different hotel. And so he was trying to use that to his advantage to say like, "Hey, can we get an upgrade?" And so the concierge or the attendant at the desk was like, "Oh, well, do you have your original reservation stuff?" And because I had booked it, I was like, "Oh, let me go check the email." And I start to look for my phone, and where is my phone? We have no idea. I have no idea where my phone is. And I have the Find Your iPhone on, and because I was never able to connect to the internet, the Find My iPhone isn't working. Like, we kept checking and checking, and like I said, the last time I remember having my phone was in the line of the for the shuttle, and I never took my phone out on the shuttle or anything like that. So I have no clue between the shuttle and to sitting down at the check-in desk where my phone went. So the only thing that I could think of was that it got somehow fell out of my bag on the shuttle. And so the concierge is like calling the shuttle and calling the airport to see if they found it, and I still don't have a phone. So as you guys know, I had paid for my phone. So after I paid off my car, the next thing I did after that was paid off my cell phone. And so I had an iPhone XS cell phone that was paid off, and I had no intentions of getting a new phone. And you know that I usually record on my phone, and so yeah, my source of recording videos has kind of gone away. And you might be thinking like, "Oh, do you have like insurance?" No, I don't have insurance on the phone. And the reason why I don't have insurance is because I think that when I started the debt-free journey, I had insurance on my phone, and then I was looking through my T-Mobile account and was like, I don't ever use Jump. Why do I need Jump? And when I called them, they were like, "Oh, that's really if you tend to upgrade your phone." And I was like, I never upgrade my phone. I usually always pay it off, and then at some point decide to like get a new phone or whatever. So I was like, I don't really ever use Jump. But the thing is that Jump also, that's one part of Jump, but then the other part of it is the insurance plan. So since my phone is paid off, I would have needed that insurance plan to be able to replace the phone. And so since I canceled the Jump program like almost 2 years ago now, I have to get a new phone. So luckily, my boyfriend had thanks for filling them in, Ben. Yeah, so I lost my iPhone in Mexico. But what happened is my boyfriend actually, we've been having pretty bad luck with phones recently. So he actually just damaged his phone, and he had to purchase a new phone that he really didn't want to have to purchase. But that left him with this phone, this iPhone 7 Plus, I think is a Plus, I don't know, that he was able to give to me once we returned back to America or the United States. And so the phone is working. The only thing is that there's like this, you can't really see it here, but on this side of the screen is like a black haze on the screen, so I can't really see like part of the phone. But it's fine. It works well enough. But I'm gonna have to, in order to get this phone working, I had to get a SIM card. And so the SIM card was like it was close to $30 for me to get a SIM card to be able to use this phone, because he had AT&T and I have T-Mobile. And I would like to to be able to get another phone, because like I said, like part of the screen, like you can't tell for some reason here, but part of the screen is like black here. So I would like to get another phone. So yeah, I've thought about how I'm going to go about it. I'm either going to get another 10s when the new one comes out and just pay the discounted rate, or I'm going to get the new phone and then try to pay it off as soon as possible. So we'll see, but as of right now, I'm going to rock with this phone for about 2 months or 3 months, or who knows, I might change my mind and decide to just keep this phone. But I do know that the video quality is not as good on this phone, and also the audio quality is not as good on this phone as when I recorded on the 10s. So if I keep this phone for a while, please bear with me with the video and the audio quality of this phone. So that's one thing. Let me go through and look at the comments and stuff before I get to the other unfortunate financial issue that has happened to me this week. So, hey Alicia, well, I already said hey to you. Hey Black Vito. Hey Cicely. And let's see, Real Life Budgeting, hello. Thanks for tuning in. Shannon, so I think Ben already filled you in that I lost my phone. That's the first financial mistake, and I'm going to get into the second one. Or not mistake, the second thing that has happened. So Black Vito is saying OtterBox. So I actually had OtterBox on my iPhone 10s, and those cases are expensive. They're like, I don't know, like $80 for the cases. So I hope to get another case. My boyfriend lives on the dangerous side of the world. He tends to not have cases, so that's why this doesn't have a case on it. But I always put a case on my phone. But clearly I don't put insurance on my phones. So that's something I definitely need to look into, because I do want to, if I do get a new phone, be able to pay that one off as well, and then keep that phone for a while. Okay, yes, Mike is very supportive. Okay, so then we had a great time in Mexico, despite the fact that I could never find my phone, and I couldn't really take pictures like I wanted to. I did have my vlogging camera that my boyfriend gave to me back in December for Christmas, so I was able to take footage, but I didn't take that many pictures. The pictures that we did take, he took them, and so I don't have like a whole bunch of pictures. I don't have as many pictures as I probably would have taken, but we have some pictures. But we had fun. We had a really good time in Mexico. Everything was all inclusive, so all the food and all the drinks were paid for. We actually did end up getting upgraded to a really nice room, and so we were given access to this other part of the hotel that's like kind of exclusive, and they have like better alcohol and better food and other stuff on that side. But it was a really good experience, and I hope to, like I said, put out a vlog of that, and also post some pictures as well, the limited pictures that I do have, to keep you guys in the loop of what happened to celebrate his 30th birthday. So we got back to Atlanta Airport, and then we drove over to Columbus, and then the next day, I don't remember what I was trying to do. Oh, I think I was trying to get the SIM card for this phone. And so I was like, oh, babe, can you come with me to T-Mobile, because I don't have GPS to be able to go to T-Mobile, and I don't know where T-Mobile is in Columbus, Georgia. And granted, I probably could have, I thought about it afterward. I was like, I probably could have done it old school and MapQuested and then wrote down the directions. I was like, I'll just wait for him to come home and we'll go to T-Mobile. So that's what we did. We went to T-Mobile. Oh wait, I'm jumping ahead of myself. So I decided that I was going to drive. And so I get in my car and we're driving, and I'm just like, why is it so hot? Like, what is going on? Like, it's just so hot. And I'm rolling down the windows, and I can feel like a little bit of cool air coming out, but it's like so little. I don't even know how to quantify how minimal the cool air was coming through the vents. And we were driving, and I kept trying to like roll down the windows, thinking like, okay, just let the hot air out, and then you can roll the windows back up, and then you can feel the cool air. And yeah, it never worked. And so the unfortunate thing is the AC is not working. But I also had an interview in Atlanta the next day. So Columbus, Georgia is about an hour and a half, and actually where the interview was, it was about an hour and 45 minutes away from Columbus. So yeah, I had to drive an hour and 45 minutes to go to this interview in Atlanta the next day after finding out that my AC was not working. And so I don't really have that many like interview type clothing, and I definitely don't have interview clothing for when you're in the summertime. So my interview clothes, I have like a long sleeve white shirt, a suit jacket, and some pants. And that's really because I think back in what was that? Back in 2018, I bought this whole suit set because I thought I was going to have an interview for EIS. EIS is this program at the CDC. Is very like prestigious program. It's a fellowship that trains people at the doctoral level to be epidemiologists at like the highest level. And people who usually get into EIS, it's kind of like a frat system, like old boys club. Once you get into EIS, like your ticket is like written for you at the CDC. Like you can literally become anything at the CDC. And so I tried to apply for that program back in 2018. And so I bought the suit thinking I was going to get an interview because I was like, I want to make sure that I look, really good. And so I bought that suit with the intentions of wearing it in a cooler time of the year. So that's the only interview appropriate clothing that I feel like I have at this point, and especially since I just moved everything out of my apartment and I put everything into a storage unit. And so, I was not anticipating driving an hour and 45 minutes from Columbus, Georgia to Atlanta in a car with no AC. And I had to do that both ways. So I drove a total of over 3 hours in sweltering heat in my car on, what day was that? On Wednesday of this week to go to an interview. So, my AC is out. I drove and did the interview. The interview went well. So you might be thinking, like, what did I do to kind of keep cool? I just decided not to wear did I wear this? Yeah, I put on the pants, and then I put on like a tank top, and I just brought my shirt and my suit jacket. Did I bring the suit jacket? I think I had decided like, no, I can't do the suit jacket. I think I left it here. Or maybe, I think I did bring it with me, but I left it in the car. But I just wore a tank top so that way I could stay cool. And then I just brought some micellar water and what else? Some cotton pads so that I can clean my face. I didn't wear no makeup to this interview. Usually I don't usually wear makeup on a day-to-day basis, but like to something important like that, I would put on makeup for an interview. And I was like, I cannot deal with wearing makeup to this interview because I'm about to be so hot. And on that day, it was 97 degrees. Just let that sink in. I'm driving in a Honda Civic, this small car with the windows down, driving to go to this interview and wearing like, professional clothing just in 97 degrees weather. But when I got there, I just went into the bathroom on the first floor of the building and just cleaned up my face, put on some deodorant, and then put on my shirt, and then went up to the 8th floor, did the interview, and then left. And I tried to get on the roads ASAP because if you know anything about Atlanta's traffic is horrible. The last time, so the interview that I had 2 weeks ago, on my way back here, it took me 3 hours from Atlanta to Columbus to get here. So I was like, I need to leave as soon as possible after the interview that I had this past week to be able to avoid that traffic, so I wasn't sitting in heat for even longer than I had to. So I literally was just like, I'm gonna get something to eat and I'm heading straight back to Columbus. No sightseeing, no nothing, because I cannot take the heat. And literally when I came back, I just laid here on the couch, like sprawled out like this. for like 30 minutes because I had to like cool down because I was just so hot. But anyway, the interview went well, and I'll touch on actually some recent developments about the interviews and the job search and all that. But anyway, so I went to Honda to find out what was wrong with my car. I actually went to them on Tuesday before the interview, hoping that they could fix it before I had to leave to go to Atlanta. But then they were like, so I dropped it off, and they were like, they have to run the diagnostics on the car, and it was going to take several hours to do, so they wouldn't be able to actually get to the repair if they could, not until like the next morning. And so I called them around 9:30 and was like, "Hey, y'all told me y'all was gonna call me by 9 to let me know what's up with the car." And the girl who I actually saw on Tuesday, she was off, and so I don't know. I guess some miscommunication happened, so no one decided to call me. So I called them, and the guy was like, "Okay, so we did the diagnostics on your car. We found out where the problem is. You have a leaking hose for your AC, so your car is draining Freon. Yeah, Freon. It's draining Freon." And so I was like, "Okay, cool. How much? Let's get it fixed. How quick can you do it?" And so, I'm thinking like I have an interview like in a few hours that I need to drive to, so I want the AC to be fixed before I go on this interview. And guess what he tells me? He tells me that the part. Actually, okay, did he tell me over the phone? Oh, no. He didn't tell me over the phone. He told me how much it was going to cost over the phone. So he told me over the phone how much it was going to cost, and he said it was going to cost $580 over the phone. So obviously, I'm not working. I don't have a full-time job, and $580 is like a lot of money. Granted, I do have about $300 or so in a sinking fund for my car specifically, but clearly that's a little bit short of the $580 that's required to pay for the repair to the car. And so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna have to do it. And my boyfriend had said the day before to me that he would help me out with the repair to the car, but this was clearly before either one of us knew how much it was gonna cost. And so I was just like, I'm just gonna have to do it because I need to have the AC fixed. And the crazy thing is, I've had this same problem before, and I had to endure it for 3 months. And so I wanted to like nip it in the bud as soon as possible, get the car fixed. So anyway, I go over to Honda. They send their shuttle over to me. I go to Honda and meet with the guy, and he's like, "So I have some bad news for you." And so I thought the $580 was already bad news, right? And he's like, "Yeah, I have bad news for you. I put in the order for the part, and unfortunately, the part is on back order with no estimated time of arrival." No estimated time of arrival. And I was just like, are you freaking serious right now? Because like I just told you before, like maybe like probably been like 6 years now. Like I had a brand new car at that time, had just bought it maybe a month after the AC went out, and the part was on back order for 3 months. And I was driving from Miami to Tampa during my PhD program. Well, I wasn't, not all the time driving from Miami to Tampa, but definitely from Sarasota to Tampa, and that's like an hour and a half drive itself too. I was driving that distance back and forth every single day to go to school during my PhD program for 3 months in Florida in the middle of the summer. So I definitely was not trying to hear that this part was on back order with no estimated time of arrival. And so I just was like, oh my gosh, are you serious right now? And I have to go on this interview? Like, I literally need to leave right now to go on this interview? So anyway, so what I've been doing is I've been trying to shop around to see what's going on, where I can find a better price for fixing this, and also to see if I can get the part somewhere else. So what I did was I went to this other place here called Mavis Discount Tires. They actually sell, they actually fix ACs and stuff. And I went there, and they told me that it was gonna cost, or did they tell me the full cost? They didn't tell me the full cost because they said they couldn't get any parts for it because the car is relatively new, and so there aren't any aftermarket parts. And so I happened to have looked before I left, and I saw a few websites that had the part available and in stock. So I was like, hey, do you think that I could buy the part from them, bring it in, and you guys fix it? And they said, yeah, the labor will cost about $250. So I was like, cool, because when I looked for the part was $68, and Honda was going to charge me $133 for the part itself. Just show y'all. It's got the VIN number. So this is the part that I need. Oh no, this is the part that I need right here. And it is kind of like a form-fitted part specifically for the car. And so because the car is kind of new and it's not like a generic part that kind of works in like all Hondas or whatever, it's not easy to come by if Honda doesn't have it in stock. But I was able to find it online for like half the price, and so I was like, okay, cool. But then that place told me to go to another place because they fix ACs specifically, and so he was going to charge me to do an estimate. But I told him, hey, I already got an estimate with not estimate. I already got a, what's that thing called? I already got a diagnosis with Honda, and so I don't want to pay for a diagnosis with you because I already know what it is. And of course Honda, well, in my mind, Honda would know what is wrong with the car because it's a Honda car. And so I showed him this paperwork, and so you'll see here that the paperwork has the total. The person wrote in the total for parts and labor at the bottom. But mind you, I showed this paper to the other place too, to Mavis. But I showed it to the discount guy. I mean, to the AC guy. I gave him the paperwork. He was like, "Oh, is this the price that Honda said that they'll give it to you for?" But he doesn't know that this is also including the money that I've already paid for the diagnostic. But I already had a feeling what he was trying to do. And so I said, yeah, that's what they told me. And he was like, oh, okay, I can do it for $100 cheaper. He hadn't looked at the car. He hadn't even looked at like all the paperwork yet. But he was like, oh, I can do it for $100 cheaper. So I was like, okay, whatever. And so he goes, looks at the car finally, and so I tell him, I said, the part seems to be out of stock, even through aftermarket as well. So can you check to see if you can even get it? So he was like, okay. So he looks it up. He can't get the part either. And so then he's like, oh, what I can do for you is I can repair the part for you, the hose that you actually have in your car, and you can just come bring the car in. It'll take about a day and I'll fix it, and then you won't have to worry about the part. And so I'm like, okay, cool. How much is that going to cost me? He's like, it's going to be the same price, $100 off. So he thinks that I'm done. First of all, my father is a mechanic. So I already know that repairing a part is a lot cheaper than actually getting a brand new part. So I already knew like what you're trying to tell me is not the truth. And so he was like, yeah, the reason why you're going to have to why the repair is going to cost the same amount as the new part is because the labor will go up. And mind you, I already know there's only one piece of the hose that's that's leaking, and so it's not like he has to do the whole thing. And I had already asked my dad about that, and he was like, if you were to repair the hose, it will only cost you like $40. So he's trying to tell me that it's going to cost the same amount as a new part. And he expects me to like just go with it. But obviously, people will go with it if they don't know, right? And so anyway, I don't have the AC on my car fixed. So that's mainly because I'm not going to go to him when he's clearly trying to get over on me to pay him more money, and I don't have more money just to be thrown out there, right? And then the part just isn't widely available right now, so I have to wait for back order for this part to come in. But I've already decided that when the part does come in, oh, and I actually did go try to buy the part from that website that I saw, but they actually canceled it a few hours later because I guess they couldn't have access to it either. They couldn't find it. And so the part is not available. But when I am able to buy the part, I'm going to buy it from these people because it's cheaper, like almost half the price. And then I'm going to take it to Mavis to fix for $250. So in total, I'll probably have to spend about like $310 to get this issue fixed. So that's everything that's going on with me. I lost my phone, and I also have an AC issue in my car that I did. You check for recall? Sometimes they don't tell you. I don't know. Oh, you mean like, on the part, whether the part is on recall? No, I haven't. I should probably check that to see if that's a issue, because that would be great. Because one of the things that they asked me about was if I had an extended warranty when I was at Honda, and I don't remember purchasing an extended warranty. And when he looked it up, he was like he couldn't find any evidence of that. And my car is just like shy of being 3 years old, so I missed the warranty date literally probably about a month, honestly. Because I purchased my car on July 4th, 2016, and I discovered this issue with the car on August 12th or August 13th or something like that. And so, like, literally a little over a month since my warranty has been expired. But whatever. I can't fix it right now, but I know that's going to be money that I have to take out. But luckily, actually, now that I did the calculation, I actually have all the money for the repair of the car, should everything go as I'm planning right now, within my sinking fund. So that's really good. That is good. Good. So, okay, in terms of, I guess, budget, really quickly, I haven't really made any money. I did get, for this week, mainly because we took the trip to Mexico, and then so I was gone, so I couldn't work. And right before that, I had just moved out of my apartment. And then since I've been back, I've been trying to just work on some things so I can put out more content on YouTube. So I'm trying to get a whole lot of stuff done. And then also now the AC is messed up, and I don't really want to drive, but if I have to, that's my only way to make money. I'm gonna definitely do it. So, but my plan is to try to start working again, like on Monday. And so I haven't made any money aside from someone who used my referral link. I guess at some point they used it, and then I got paid out this past week $50 for my part of their referral bonus. And so that's the only money that I have made. And then my boyfriend did give me $300 as part of offering to me. And that mechanic doesn't realize in business you'll get so much further with being honest. It's true, because as soon as I knew what he was doing, I was like, I don't even care if he's like the best mechanic. Like, I'm not taking my car to him. Like, and I also asked him, I was like, can you provide me a written estimate? And he told me no, because he knows that if he was to pull it up in the system, because I would assume that they have a whole system where they can just pull in, like, okay, what this actual repair is and what this part is, and actually print out a real estimate. It would have told me less, but he didn't want to provide that with me because he wanted to go off of, it's just gonna cost $100 less. But whatever. So he lost out on that business from me, because I'm not gonna go to him at all now. So, but anyway, in terms of money, I only made the $50 from the referral bonus, and then I made. Well, I can't say I made that money because I didn't work for it. But my boyfriend gave me $300 this week. I don't know if I didn't ask him. He cashed at me and it said benevolent offering. And so I don't know if that was supposed to be to cover the car, or if it was supposed to just be like offering in lieu of maybe giving the church or whatever. But regardless, he gave me money that I'm very thankful for. So I've only made $350 this week. I haven't really spent any money on anything besides getting some salad mix this week. So I don't really have anything to really budget. But I wanted to fill you guys in on what's going on with my finances, because I have these expenses that I didn't. Oh, and the SIM card. That's the only other thing that I bought. But I have these expenses that I'm going to have to pay for, and I'm going to have to think about how I'm going to pay for them now that I've actually thought through the whole cost of repairing the AC I know that I'll be able to cover that through my sinking fund that I have through Simple Bank. But in terms of perhaps getting a new phone and all of that, that's something that I haven't really thought about, like where that money is going to come from and how do I want to go on a monthly plan if I do get the new phone when those come out, or if I just want to pay off the phone completely. I haven't really thought through where that money's going to come from as well. So, okay, as an update, you probably have seen my post about the interviews that I have done. I talked a little bit about them so far in this live. So, I had 2 interviews so far. I had an interview at a place that I'm very familiar with. It's very ironic. And I had that interview 2 weeks ago. And when I had that interview, it went really well. The person who would be the hiring manager happens to also be an alum of, or alumna of, Howard University, which is where I went to undergrad. That person did not go for undergrad. They went and got their master's and PhD from Howard. So I was kind of feeling good, to be honest, when I saw that I was asked to do the interview for that position. They asked me to do the interview on a Friday, and I ended up doing the interview, I think, on the next Tuesday, but I had to prepare a presentation as well. And so I did that. They loved my presentation. They were also impressed by the fact that I was able to put together a presentation within like 2 days, really, because when they emailed me, it was like close to 5 o'clock when they emailed me and was like, hey, can you do an interview on Tuesday? And I was like, yeah, I can do an interview on Tuesday. And so I kind of like scrambled, put together a presentation, and they, were really impressed with my presentation skills and also just some of my research skills in general. And today I found out, well, before that, the hiring manager has been in contact with me several times to ask me about transcripts, to ask me about references. She actually, on my way out that day, she asked me to send her my references. But I know I was the first person to be interviewed. They had 3 candidates. I was the first to be interviewed, and then the 2 other were interviewed, I think, that Thursday after me, and then the next Tuesday after me. So I was like, she likes me, because I know that when I was presented, she was like perked up a lot. I know that she liked me, but then, anything could have happened with the other 2 candidates. So I didn't really see the asking for references as like a sign at that point. But then after that, she actually contacted me and was like, oh, if you have any more questions, feel free to, I can give you the contact information of some of my team members. And so we talked for like 15 minutes before I went to the airport. She sent me the contact information for some of her team members. And then when I came back from Mexico, she asked for my transcripts. And then today, one of my old coworkers from my first position at the CDC, she hit me up and she was like, oh, the hiring manager contacted me for your reference. So at this point, all the candidates have been interviewed. So I'm feeling really good about it. So that's really good. The second interview that I had is a staff position at a university to run a research center. It's an associate director position, but they also contacted me before the interview and was like, you have your doctorate. We're kind of impressed by your resume, and so would you be interested in a faculty position as the director of the center? And so we talked, when I had the interview with them this past week, we talked about potentially doing the associate director position or doing the director position, just to get a sense of whether I want to be faculty or if I want to be staff. Unfortunately, the director position is not posted yet, and I have to officially apply for it. And so they told me the timeline would be the director position would be posted in the fall, but then they wouldn't hire until the spring. So obviously, I'm not trying to go all the way till spring without a job. But that was really nice to hear that they thought I would be qualified so far for the director position. And I did talk to them about potentially taking the associate director position, and then when the director position was posted, that I could apply for that, compete nationwide with everybody else who applies to the position, and then maybe transition to the director position at that time. But obviously, if I were to transition to the director position, then they would also then have to hire for the associate director position. So I don't know. They wrote me after the interview. Well, I wrote them first saying thank you, and they wrote me back, and they thanked me for for interviewing and being open to different opportunities, and they seem to be interested as well in having me. Then also yesterday, one of my friends at the CDC who was in a doctoral program with me, she's actually a team lead. She had been telling me since like last year, like it's probably been one whole year now since she told me about these positions. She was like, I'm hiring for 2 positions on my team, but I'm just waiting for them to post them. And so this week, those positions were posted on USA Jobs. And so I emailed her today and was like, hey, I noticed the positions were posted. I'm going to apply for it. And she was like, yes, like I need them filled like ASAP. And so, yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of not sure because that position would actually pay the most out of all the positions that I've applied for. So I'm not really sure yet about, but obviously that position, the application is still open. So I can't really, I feel like wait for that position given that I don't have a job right now. Maybe if I had a job, like I could wait, but like I feel like I can't wait. That's just how I feel. But that position would also pay more than my previous position. It would pay about $3,000 to $4,000 more than my previous position that I just recently had. And so yeah, it's looking really nice from a monetary standpoint, and the fact that I know her, and I know that she's been interested in bringing me on for quite some time. But obviously with the government, it takes a while for all these things to happen. Also, the position will be back in HIV, which is a topic that I'm very familiar with. But like I said, it's just a matter of timing. So I'm going to see what happens with all of these positions. I have been diligently also applying for other stuff. I found a bunch of other positions to apply for that fit my skill set that I'm going to have to set aside some time to apply for those because I found a lot, but none really actually in Atlanta. I think a lot of them were outside of Atlanta. So yeah, but at the end of the day, I have 2 interviews that I have had. I've completed them. They seem very interested. One ending up with a reference check so far. And then the other one that I had at the university, they said that they would like someone to start as soon as possible, and they asked me when I could potentially start, and I told them in September because they had explained how it was going to work, like the time frame. So I basically told them the second week of September I would be free to start, and they were like, perfect. And so I feel like that was also showing a bit of interest. But so I would say that I have 2 positions that I feel really good about that I potentially can secure, and then this third one that I have no idea when it would get filled and all that, but I know I would have a really good shot at it because the person who's hiring for the position has been trying to get me into the position, and I know her very well, but it might not work timing wise. But that's all that I had to share. Let me check the comments. I think I already kind of went through them all. So let's just see if there's anything else. I think that's a bit about it. If you guys have any more questions, I'll take some questions before I sign off about what's going on. But I feel like I'm being very positive. I was very disappointed, or I want to say that I was like super upset when I lost my phone, but it like kind of was very upsetting to me that I lost my phone, and it kind of knocked me off a bit about what was going on, and I had to like be like, we're supposed to be having fun. Get yourself together and be happy and be positive. So that phone situation kind of like hit me a little bit. And then the car, I won't say that I was really upset about the car. I mean, it was a shock. Apparently, my boyfriend says he feels like the AC's been not that great for a while, but I personally don't agree with him. I feel like it's been perfectly fine. But I think I was just more so in shock when I heard the $580 figure. And also, I didn't want to have to drive to Atlanta for an hour and 45 minutes in the heat. So I was not looking forward to that. But I don't think that really like rocked me, per se. Um, but yeah, I think I've been pretty good about all the negativity that's been coming down on me. But hopefully it's over. Because I was like, uh, my boyfriend just texted me something that has me like, oh my god. Okay, so so apparently, the whole family. He's in Dallas right now. The whole family's watching me. Hey y'all. But yeah. So that kind of like rocked me a little bit, but not too much. So I feel like I've been pretty positive about it all. But I don't really see any other questions coming in. But thank you, New Beginnings 29, for joining. But I'm about to get off right now, and I hope to see y'all in the future video. So I do have a video that I'm editing currently that I'm going to hopefully post tomorrow. It's a lot to edit, but I think it'll be really good. It's a side hustle video, and it's a relatively new side hustle for a lot of areas, and I think it's a really great opportunity for you all. So make sure that you check out the video that I'm posting tomorrow. And yeah, thanks for joining. I'll see y'all later. Bye. If I never know how to end this. This is so awkward. Okay. How does one finish?